All righty, it looks like we're recording. So welcome to my favorite webinar of the year. It's our first webinar of the year, and it's how to win big in 2012. And for this very hot topic, I have my friend Howard Partridge to help me take us through the business planning process. And Howard, I'm going to start by giving a little background of our history, because Howard and I are best friends forever now. How does that sound?
Absolutely.
Yay! Okay, well, once upon a time, Howard and I met at a webinar. It was put on by the ICF magazine. It's really the premier magazine in the cleaning industry. And I was on stage, and someone raised their hand and quoted Howard Partridge in response to something that I said as part of my training presentation. And I'd never heard of Howard Partridge. I was new to the cleaning industry at the time, but I complimented the gentleman and Howard on such wisdom. And after the seminar, Howard came back to my table in the back of the room and bought everything that I had for sale at the time. And you just made my day, and that was like our first moment of really falling in love with each other. From a business perspective, from a life perspective, there's so many parallels and levels that we are aligned on. Howard and I share so many of the same values and believe so much of the same philosophy when it comes to creating a business. And Howard, you like to say, and I think we both got this from our mentor, Michael Gerber, that a business exists for one reason and one reason only, and that's to help you achieve your life goals. Did I get that right?
You betcha. That's right. That's exactly right.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to do during the course of our seminar today is, as promised, I want to deliver a content-heavy process to you. I'm going to show you how I put business plans together. This is my language. These are the words I use. These are the forms I use, or the structure, the overall structure I use. Now, we're only going to have an hour together. My intention is to make sure you understand the overall process. We're not going to dig into the individual exercises because, you know, to do one exercise may take up to an hour, and then we'd miss the opportunity to do this overview. This is an overview. I spent the last weekend, Howard, in my office working on my business plan, and I started doing business plans. Well, the first business plan I did was this. Once my husband, Hot Rod, and I, and this is back in the early 90s, once at the as a result of finally figuring out our asset from our elbow, Hot Rod and I finally were charging more money. We're keeping track of the money so that we could dig out of the big hole of debt that I had created. Once we got, you know, I call this stopping the bleeding and starting the patient breathing again. In my own company, that's where I started. We were in a world of hurt with our plumbing company, and we fixed the basics. We got the money handled. And it was at that point I turned to my husband and I said, okay, now what? What do you want to do with this company? That is business planning. That's the best way I can describe it. What do you want this company to be, to do, and to have? The reason why it exists is to help us support our life goals. But what are some other basics here? Where's the point on the horizon to which we're going to march? Now, interestingly, when I asked my husband this question, he said to me, well, I really like working all by myself. Now, that's interesting because the vision I had in my head was, you know, dozens of trucks and minions and, you know, world domination. We were not on the same page. And as I say that, Howard, I'll ask you this question. Who was right, me or Hot Rod?
You were both right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. There's no wrong in any of this. You know, more than anything else, I hope you get that out of our conversation today. The joy of your business, the game of it, is merely to pick something on the horizon, a point on the map to which you want to go. And as Jim Rohn says, you know, creating $1 million business or creating a $1 million net worth, it's not the money you're after. It's what it will make of you to attempt it, to march in that direction. It's about the journey. So I want to challenge you as you think about business planning and think about what you really want to be, to do, to have, and why, that the key to it is freedom, financial freedom, lifestyle freedom, the freedom to do and be and have whatever you want, and to use your business as a vehicle to help you get there. I'm going to share one more story about business planning, Howard, and then I want you to jump in a little bit too.
Sure.
After I worked with Hot Rod, at that point we decided not to work together anymore, and it was so interesting that money buys options, and by fixing our company and making it strong enough that we could actually sell it. We sold it to our employees. It was a great win all the way around. They still operate that company now, like 16, 17 years later. And we decided we would not work together anymore and would pursue different business interests. So I put together a little business plan for my consulting business, and one of the things that happened is I auditioned, unknowingly, I auditioned for a position with a venture capital company as president of Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. Now I bring these guys up, the venture capitalists in that group, Jim and John, are big planners. And they had, at the time I worked there were 17 companies within this venture capital empire, and I was the president of one of them. All of the 17 presidents were required to put together a business plan, and they gave us a model, a structure to use. I put my business plan together, and we all did, and they gave us back our business plans, and they were bound. Here's what you promised to do. And they are very serious when it comes to, if this is what you say you're going to attempt, we expect that of you. And as a result, these guys create some pretty amazing things. Now, I don't agree with everything they do. None of your mentors or business, business leaders are going to be perfect on every level. But these guys have powerful intention. And if they intend something, it usually happens. And the way they make it happen is they put a plan together. And the plan is at once solid and written and communicated and flexible. If it's not working, we're going to change it. So that's a little backdrop on why I'm so passionate about business planning, Howard. Maybe you could share a little bit of your experience with business planning and how it came to be.
You bet, Ellen. Well, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here, and what Ellen didn't tell you is how much she's helped me over the years get my businesses more profitable, and we've done lots of great, cool things together. But you mentioned something earlier, Ellen, that I think that I call the greatest business lesson that I ever learned. Now, I started my first business when I was 23. I was just a kid, and I built it into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. I do coaching with Zig Ziglar. I work with Michael Gerber. I work with John Maxwell. I work with some of the top trainers in America, and I can tell you that to this day, what you just said a moment ago is the greatest business lesson that I've ever learned, and I believe the greatest business lesson that anyone can learn, and that is this. You went into business for a reason. Maybe it was to make a little bit more money, but really you wanted to be your own boss, chart your own course, have a little more free time. Yeah, right. Instead, we feel like a slave to the business, very little family time. The business consumes your mind 24/7. You feel like you have a job rather than a business, and your day is spent putting out brush fires. When I read Michael Gerber's book and got it that the only reason my business exists is to help me achieve my life goals, when I got that, everything changed. And the mistake that we make is we start a business and we simply become a slave to that business. We don't take the time to do what you're going to show us how to do tonight, is to get focused first on our life. What do we want out of life? And then we design that business around our life goals. Changed my life, and immediately started growing my business. Now I went and made a whole bunch of mistakes that you helped me get some of those systems in place, and a lot of other people helped me get these systems in place. But it's all about your life goals.
Let me plus something that you just said at the end there that was really powerful. you made a lot of mistakes, and this is what I really want to lighten up about myself personally, and I'm certainly giving this advice to my clients. All the stories, all the good stuff, all the lessons are born in mistakes. You have got to lighten up about this. When you ask the most successful people on the planet, how they did what they did, they're going to start with the story where something went bad. They're going to start with a disaster, because that's where the contrast lies. The point of power is in those problems. And so if you would allow yourself a little bit of breathing room, you're going to make mistakes. That's the good stuff. That's where the stories come from. That's why the books are written, so that you can overcome those challenges and achieve freedom. But you're never going to get a mistake-free business. I can't even think why you would want to. So one other thing I wanted to say about business planning, because business planning to me, Howard, sometimes when I talk about it with people, it has this energy on it like, oh, I know I should plan, I know I should diet. It's no fun, all about deprivation and forcing yourself to do it. But, if you want to get good at anything, a plan is a good idea. Now, when I went to Alaska this summer, Alaska was everything and more I ever hoped it would be. But the thing that really struck me about Alaska is it's big and wild. I remember where we were on top of a mountain. I could see our car in the far distance in the parking lot, and I thought, one false move and I can still die here. I had to spend the night on that mountain. If if a storm rolled in, if I took a wrong step, Alaska makes you pay attention. And if you're going to operate in that environment, nobody who plays in the backcountry goes in the backcountry without a plan. They don't just park the car and start walking. You make sure you have water. You set a destination. You set a time frame. There's some turnaround points, like if it's not working or you're not going to get there or a storm runs in, you're going to have to turn it around and go back another day. But all great adventurers start with a plan, and the plan may go out the window or they may have to adjust it, but that's how you play big adventure. That's the rule. So let's talk about this too. This fellow is an entrepreneur, and I've got his name in my notes. But I just read this blog not too long on the Huffington Post, and this guy started a. I'll get this name to you. I've got to do this.
Here, I'll grab
bear
it
with
for
me.
you.
Can you?
Yeah,
It's in the notes there. Yeah. Okay, that would be great.
Ryan Blair. Yeah,
Ryan Blair, and he started a tech company, and he grew it really fast, and he's been asked about business plans and how they made it, and he makes a really good point. I think this counterpoint is worth making. If the plan has no life in it, if the plan is dull, if the plan doesn't inspire you, it's worse than having no plan. Don't put together a plan that doesn't make your soul sing. But if you can do that, if you can capture the essence of what you really, really want and write it down, and as you do, if it feels fantastic, you're on the right track. And if you're doing it because you have to, or you're doing it because someone else, has got the template or something, balk. I would stop and regroup, because the energy you put into the plan is the energy that plan is going to bring back to your business. What do you think of that, Howard?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, one of the other things that I teach is that the number one reason that small businesses don't grow or do as well as they could is because of what we call FTI, failure.
That's a good deal. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, you know what to do, you know how to do it. Sure, you could learn some ways to do things better. Like you taught us how to do our financials better. There's a better way to market. But if we just did just the things that we already know to do, would be infinitely more successful. So you got to ask yourself the question, why am I not inspired? Why am I not excited about the possibilities, right? And so we call it inspiration to implementation. When you're inspired, when you're excited, and that's why I want people to get excited about what the business will do for you. I know it from experience now. When I was going through it, I couldn't see all of it, but that's why it's so great to do what you guys are doing right now, is get around people who are already doing what it is that you want to do and see the possibilities. Speaking of Alaska, there was a great book or a great movie called The Edge with Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin. Did you see that movie?
No, but I know it involves a pair. I remember the preview.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, they were in a plane crash in the Alaskan wilderness, stranded in the Alaskan wilderness. Alec Baldwin is convinced that they're going to die out there. The wise Anthony Hopkins had read books about how people survived the Alaskan wilderness, and he was convinced. He said, what one man could do, another can do. What one man can do, another can do. And that's inspiring to me, that if someone like Ryan Blair can do what he did, I can do it. And you've got to live by that. You've got to get inspired about the possibilities rather than just looking at the problems, because the fact is that if you plan your business, and I might think about changing the word plan to think about your business. I work with John Maxwell, and John Maxwell says that the greatest thing that you can do is think. Think about your business, think about your life, and then that plan actually comes out of that thinking process. But through the thinking process, and most of us need other people to help us do that, inspiration is key. It's key.
Well, and let's talk about then that, because there's that we live in a dual reality here. There is thought and inspiration, and then there's action. And the key is to not, one without the other is really not helpful. So, and it's not as joyful. Like, I really believe that if I could make, things happen faster, if I could make them happen instantly, part of me wonders if I wouldn't miss the journey. If you could just turn around, if you give a kid everything he wants, it doesn't have quite the sweetness of a kid getting a job and getting the money and owning that. There is some joy in the process that I really want to engage, right? That you've got to have a lightness and inspiration about it, or no plan is going to just get done if it's a complete drudgery to create it. Now, what I'd like to do is intermix our conversation, Howard, with some inspiration and with some tactical advice. Right now, I'm going to switch to some tactics. Let's talk about what a business plan is, how I approach it, and you can decide to do it. Oh, Ellen says do it this way. What one man can do, another can do. Go for it. I'd be happy to share some ideas that you can just take and use right away. And on the other hand, if there's something that I present that doesn't resonate with you, skip it. There isn't just one way to do it. If you also have a business plan already, trot it out. Go find it, pull it on your desk, open the drawer, blow the dust off of it if it's dusty. But it will amaze you if you put a business plan together at any point and you open it up. There are things in that plan that have come true. I absolutely promise you. Because just the exercise of moving from thought form to written word, we're moving it into reality. Howard, you're much better at quoting the Bible than I am, but there is a line that says, in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word became flesh. It's always thought first and then reality. It moves to physical form. That's how this universe works. And so, a business plan, a binder with words in it that you've written is no small thing. If you want to use an iPad, it's going to have the same effect. If you want to use your computer, no problem there. I'm a fan of an old school 3-ring binder just because it's portable. You don't have to worry about technical difficulties. I like it. Mine was, my binder cover was created by a couple of my business planning buddies. It's a tattoo artist and a leather worker who got together and made me my binder. So it's special to me. But inside that is my plan. I worked on it this weekend, and I'm happy to have it with me when I'm on the road to refer to gussy up. I want you to, I encourage you to adopt the same kind of love for your business plan that I have for mine. Now, I suggest you structure this business plan to address the different areas of your business. Howard, you and I are absolutely aligned philosophically things. Like in plumbing, you could call that bent piece of pipe a 90, or you could call it an elbow, but it's the same essential thing. Does that make sense?
Yep. You bet.
Sometimes
absolutely.
You just might need a little translation. So I'm going to discuss briefly the areas of the business that the words I use to describe the different areas of the business. All right, I suggest you get a binder, you get some tabs, and you tab up your binder to have information about the different areas of your business, here's what I call them. Setting site is often called the executive section of a business plan. This is where your goals and one-page business plan, often called the executive summary, are going to be housed in here. I have the perfect life exercise, a couple other exercises I'm going to just introduce you to tonight. The setting site is all about getting clear on those big journalistic questions. Why should this business exist? You know, to serve my life goals. Maybe there's another reason. Maybe there's something you want to fund, or another career you want to energize. There's something you want to have. Whatever that business should exist for, we want to discuss that in a mission statement. We want to talk about what the business looks like. Set some goals to have statements. This is what we want to have for sales and operations. We want to put our values in the setting site section. We always do this. We never do this. Those are the exercises that I include in the setting site section of my binder. Building the team, well, this is where you address the question, who? Who's going to help me do this? Who do I need to have on my team? Who do I want on my team? Who could I have on a board of advisors? Put a little organizational chart together so we could see who does what, who reports to whom. The basic job position descriptions could be in the building the team section. In the making money section, this is where my financial plan goes. The financial plan is a subset of the overall business plan. The financial plan is where we address how much money we have, what do we have for assets, liabilities, equity, sales, and expenses, and we put a budget together. A lot of people don't like the word budget. It's a little, you know, dry, like dieting. But budgeting is just goal setting, putting your financial plan together. That goes in the making money section. The getting it sold section, you know, it's interesting. In this section of my business plan, I suggest that you adopt a sales trainer. You adopt a marketing mogul. And you can emulate what they teach and adopt their system. The reason why I don't give you as much direction in this section of your plan, I talk about scorekeeping and getting a sales-focused section, et cetera. I mean, there's a lot that I have to share about this. But Howard, someone like you does sales even better than someone like me. You can reach out and incorporate other trainers' information into a structure like this. Ultimately, as you put your business plan together, you're going to create, like Mike H., you're going to create the A1 way. Or, you know, whatever company you have, whatever name is on your shirt right now, you want to customize this plan to be true for you and allow it some flexibility so that you could learn from Howard when you go to the Planet Phenomenal Inner Circle program and you learn something from another trainer for sales or any of these areas, that you can dovetail other information into this plan so that it becomes uniquely yours. Before I move on, Howard, do you want to address that at all? Is this making sense?
Yeah, you know, the thing is that you need a structure for your planning. And again, I want to just say that when we talk about, you know, business plan, this is the ticket to help you achieve your life goals. And so, for example, setting site, we call that vision. Building the team,
okay.
Yeah, we have an organizational chart, and we talk about leadership. We talk about well, we really use the organizational chart to say, okay, here's the grid of who's going to do what. Making money, that's the financial part. That's the budgeting part of it. That's the sales reports. Getting it sold is the marketing and sales. Getting it done is our operations system. Making sure, now that's where you do your reports to go back and review and make sure that everything kind of happened that you planned, right?
Yeah, you know, let's
sure,
not neglect to check in. Is this business serving its purpose for you, for your customers, and for your team members? So that's the quality assurance department, for instance. So so Howard, and you don't have to fret, again, you don't have to fret about doing this right. Any structure is better than no structure. And what's fun about working with you, Howard, is that, so you call it a vision, I call it setting sight. When we dig into those exercises, we have virtually the same things. Let's discuss the setting sight section briefly. I want to tell a little story, and then I want to introduce you to some of the things you might put in this section. So now I'm going to just go down through the different sections: setting sight, building the team, making money, getting it sold, getting it done, and making sure. We're going to revisit each of those sections and discuss them individually now. Again, this class is an overview. We're going to leave plenty of time for questions. By the way, Michelle just let me know we're on this seminar. We're going to make an hour-long seminar out of it. And then we're going to stay on. We've got the seminar for an extra half hour. If there are any questions and you want to hang around, Howard, could I encourage you to stay on the line a little bit longer?
You bet. I'll be glad to help any way that I can.
Woo! Okay, well, let me tell a little story about Andy Grove and Intel. And once upon a time, Andy Grove was the chairman of, or the president, the CEO of Intel Corporation. And Intel is the processing guys. They create microprocessors. But once upon a time, they created memory chips. Memory chips were big in the computer world in the 70s and the 80s, and nobody made better, faster, more affordable memory chips than Intel, until some manufacturers in Japan started to kick their butts. They made better, faster, and less expensive memory chips, and they were quickly taking the whole market. So Andy Grove called his CFO, his Chief Financial Officer, into the office, and he said, what do you think is going to happen at the next board meeting? And his CFO said, I think they're going to fire us. And Andy said, I think they are too, and they should. So he said, why don't we fire ourselves first? And the guy who was game, and I guess as you said, Andy, doing some creative things, says, okay. He says, okay, let's pretend we're fired. Boom. And they left the building. They walked out of the building, walked across the street, and then turned around and walked back in and said, okay, let's pretend we're the new guys. So what would the new guys do? So they walk back up to Andy's office and they sit down, and the CFO says to him, I think the new guys are going to get this company out of memory chips. Now that's pretty scary, because that is their bread and butter. That is what they do. And up until now, it's what they did better than anybody else, but they weren't winning anymore. So a business plan gives you this opportunity to say, it's not working, let's do something else. So Andy said, I think it's a good move. They supported that, and then within a few years, Intel became the world leader and still is on microprocessors. So it's kind of a fun story to talk about, what you want, and not to be bound by what you have. Do you want to be a plumbing company? And some of my clients will return with a response like, well, it's what I know. It's what I've always done. But if you want to be a guitar player and go on the road with your band, I suggest you do that. Do whatever you want to do. It's your life, and we get old way too fast. So what do you want is a hugely important question. I call this thought exercise your perfect day exercise, to spend an hour thinking about when I wake up, with whom, what do I do first, what do I love to do, would I go to work, what kind of work would I do, and to prepave that reality by thinking it and inking it. So Howard, what do you think of that exercise? I know I've taken you through it, and you've used something similar in your Inner Circle program.
You bet, Ellen. I take this very seriously because, again, you've got to spend so much time thinking about what your lifestyle is going to be, how much money you're going to make. I like to use the wheel of life. Zig Ziglar uses a wheel of life that has 7 core areas: financial, physical, personal, that's your schedule, your lifestyle. Like, I'm a beach bum. I love to be in Destin, Florida on the beach. The more beach time, the better. Family, relationships, spiritual, 7 areas, and you've got to get a vision for your life. And so going through this exercise and thinking about what you're going to do every day, that's where the inspiration comes. But here's what happens. what happens is before we even get to the wonderful parts of the business plan, the vision, the mission, the marketing plan, the sales scripts and the systems and all the cool things that we get really discouraged by because maybe we don't feel as skilled, we're overwhelmed in the business, working in the business instead of on the business. You have the energy to do this, is what you were alluding to earlier, because you have your perfect day in front of you all the time. See, a dream, I love John Maxwell's definition of the dream, and when I teach put your dream to the test that John Maxwell does, a dream is something that gets your entire being involved. Your emotions get going, and so I think about my perfect day every day, and I have it written out exactly what I do in the morning, what I do in the afternoon. And the cool thing is that because I've been at this for a while, I'm living my dream most of the time today. Mm-hmm. And so I suggest a vision board. Get pictures. Like I have a picture of my dream property. I have a picture of my beach. And I have it where I can see it multiple places all the time. It's right on my phone. Whatever it is that you want to do, have a picture, because pictures inspire, and your mind takes pictures of what you see. So there's another thing that I want to make a point of. We look at this wonderful, beautiful life, and then that we want to live. The only reason that our business exists is to be a vehicle to help us achieve that. And then we go, well, who do I think I am? Who do you think you are to set out to be a multimillionaire? Who do you think you are to, think that you can just be as successful as you want to be? And years ago, probably 15 years ago, I went to this little networking group every week. And some of the guys, not all of them, but some of the guys at this group were so negative, and they complained about the economy way back then. They complained customers wouldn't pay their price. I'm looking at them saying, no duh, if I dressed like that, I wouldn't pay your price either, And I come in, and of course I've got a nice, sport jacket on, a tie, wearing a positive attitude, and they literally laughed at me because nobody in our industry does that. They literally laughed at me and said, who do you think you are, Zig Ziglar or somebody? This was 15 years ago.
That is so interesting. That is so interesting. And I know that, because, Howard and I have been friends for a while now and have worked together on this kind of visualization and then inspired action. And you just shared with me some good news about you kind of are Zig Ziglar anymore, aren't you?
Well, and yes, and the thing is that now I have become great friends with the entire Ziglar organization. I didn't even know Zig Ziglar at the time. Zig has been on my stage. You were there. Mm-hmm. You were there. You spoke at the same conference that I had Zig Ziglar at, and I remember the day when he walked in the room. It was electric, and you just happened to be the person that was sitting there that I went over there and just, grabbed your hand. Is this really happening?
I know. Was that cool? What a great moment that was. I know.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so now, as of yesterday, I had an entire day business planning at Ziglar yesterday, and I'm doing all their business coaching for them exclusively.
And what you said before that, who do you think we are? We are so, we self-edit so much. Why not you? Why not take the bull by the horns? By the way, I don't want to give any spoiler alerts, but have you seen that movie, We Bought a Zoo?
Not yet. My wife saw it the other night.
Did she love it?
She said it was great. Did you like it?
It was fantastic because of that same. There's no reason to buy a zoo, right? There's no good reason for it, but because you want to.
Who do you
see where I'm going?
Who
do you think you are buying a zoo is exactly the same thing, and the movie is really It's tremendously written and filmed, and I laughed and cried through the whole thing. But that kind of inspiration is what you want to fill yourself with, and to do that, get clear on what you want. I ask my clients all the time, what do you want? Well, I don't want to be broke anymore. Okay, well, what do you want? How much money would you want? Right, and so use what you don't want as the springboard to what you do want, and be willing to ask for it. And why not you is such a good answer to any naysayers, including the one inside your head. When I opened my business plan, I showed you the picture of my binder up there. The first page of my business plan is that perfect day. So I read it and review it, and it's so much fun as more and more pieces of that perfect day come to reality. And Howard, you even go to the beach now on a perfect piece of property that you bought that years ago would have seemed like a ridiculous goal for you to aspire to.
Ridiculous.
I'm so proud of you.
How could I ever do this? I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you guys, this stuff works. Don't doubt it anymore. Don't doubt yourself anymore. This is America. You can do it. And when you realize that it can be done, that whatever it is that you want to do, when you finally realize that and you get rid of the limiting belief systems and you get around people, you got to have a dream team. You got to have people around you. I have mentors, coaches, all kinds of people around me that say, Howard, this is you. You're going to find your gift. You're going to find who you really are, and then that's when the magic starts happening. Then you're going to have the energy. You want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and start working on that business plan, because you know that that thinking and that planning and that action and building those systems is going to get you there.
Absolutely.
You know
well, that leads us really nicely to building the team. In the building the team section, you're going to put together the organizational chart. You're going to put together position descriptions, and you're going to house them in this section. I also suggest that within this section of your business plan, you assemble a board of advisors, a mastermind group. People like Howard just described. There are people in your life who will support what you want to do. And I got news for you. I just don't spend a lot of time talking to people who don't anymore. And if it could even be a family member, but if one of my sisters or my brother or a niece or a nephew starts dissing on somebody or complaining about something, I hold the phone away from my ear until I can change the subject. I'm just not going to do it anymore. And that has made such a world of difference in my life. And if you're in a business where, you know, you have family members who keep telling you you can't do it, this is going to be a little tough love for you, you don't have to be in business with them. You could make as part of your business plan, what does it take to get fired around here, even if you're a family member? Or if you don't really believe that you're in a position to fire somebody, you could quit and start another business. There are lots and lots of people who have done that and survived. So you've got to, you have this opportunity. I don't want to say you've got to. You can do whatever you want, but you have this opportunity to really create life on your terms. And we are giving you permission to ask and answer those big questions and to prioritize surrounding yourself with people who are going to support you in your biggest, boldest dreams. That's a little scary, isn't it, Howard? You've had, you know, moments where you've got team members that maybe they're not family, but they've been like family, and it can be hard to let them go.
That's the hardest thing in the world. But I tell you, you know, people like you have changed my life because you gave me the courage to do what was right, because it's not fair to our clients, it's not fair to the other employees, it's not fair to me, and it's not fair to them to let them stay in that situation in their life. If you want to be a loser, you're going to have to be a loser somewhere else. You can't do it here.
And you know what? It could be that when you let someone go, they are now free to be a winner. I've been fired before, and I got to tell you, it's not a bad thing. You know, I'm thinking, hell, well, somebody finally called me on my BS. I'm better now. Or it was just not a good fit, or they have gifts that they need to express, and that kick out of the nest may be the best thing that ever happened. You just don't know. It's hubris to assume that you know what's best for another person. And if they're not working out, or if you can't make a win-win happen, let your team members be free and clear to serve and win elsewhere, or find yourself a better fit if you're feeling chronically or terminally frustrated in the position that you're in. So let's press on. I want to go through just the basic sections of the business plan. Again, you've got a lot of flexibility of how you're going to put this together. And before we get off the phone, Howard, I want to share the experience that we're going to create on, I think it's the 28th of this month, isn't it?
27th and 28th in Nashville.
27th and 28th. Howard and I are going to get together. One of the things that Howard does really well, I always love it when you compliment me on my ability to help you, and I love, love, love what I do, and I'm so glad that we've had a good impact on your company, particularly the financial component of your company. But one of the things that Howard does really well is he creates community, and for that I'm really excited, because the idea of surrounding yourself with people who believe it's possible, who will give you a hand if you fell down and you need to get a little inspiration and get a hand back up. That sense of community is something that you do really, really well. And that's one of the elements of building the team. Now let's press on to making money. And making money is oh so easy. I think one of the issues with making money is belief that if you made a lot of money, then you'd be one of those guys that you're always criticizing for having too much money. Maybe you have some thinking beliefs about money that are keeping you from a fortune. In the Jewish tradition, when you die, they actually cut the pockets off your jacket, off your shirt, because they symbolize that when you leave this world, you can't take anything with you. And that's so, right? You're going to die in a coat and be buried in a coat with no pockets. So the intention of wealth in this lifetime is a way that you can expand what it is you are committed to. It's a fine way to help you demonstrate your integrity. If you say you are a big supporter of your community, there should be some checks in your checkbook that demonstrate that you're giving money to causes and institutions that you believe in your community. So if you're not as wealthy as you are, and this goes for me too, one of the reasons that I think some of the big audacious goals that I've had in my life are withheld from me until I am able to accept that. You know, a couple more zeros at the end of my income, I would be just darling at. I could do a lot of good with that money. So examine your beliefs and count the money, honey. The balance sheet, the profit and loss, these are the two granddaddy scorecards at your company. I'm going to say this about the financial area of your business. It is the 4th of January. The profit and loss right here, just started over. You got a new slate here, baby.
That's right.
Commit right now to getting the profit and loss, also known as the income statement, and the balance sheet rockin' right. Just get it right. You're going to be visiting with your CPA or your tax preparer over the next couple of weeks. If you've never had a tax preparer, find one. Ask some friends. Ask a business owner in your industry with whom you don't compete, who they use if they like them. Kiss a few frogs. Find some people to help you. I can help you with this area of your business, but commit to getting it done. That you're going to know what you have for assets, what you have for liability. The difference is equity. What do you own? Get it known. Get it right, and do it now. Make a commitment by 12/15/2012 that your financials are rock solid right through last year, and that you're kicking off this year's profit and loss with true, solid, sound numbers arranged in such a way that you can make better, faster, more profitable decisions. The only reason I became good at financials is because I finally went like this. Okay, I'll do it. And when I stopped whining and dug into it and read the books and went to the classes and grabbed my mentor by the chin and sat down with the financials, it took me about a year to get it all done. I'm a slow learner sometimes. But when I finally got everything lined up and all the buckets in the right places, I realized I made it a year because most of the time I was kicking and screaming instead of just embracing it. It's not that hard. You know, Howard, you've had a similar, you're not like naturally someone who would want to pour through spreadsheets, are you?
Not at all. That was my weak spot. I'm a marketing guy. I'm a sales guy. I'm a networker. I'm a connector. And, you know, even before you came along, I did my best to at least understand the financials, and I put my foot down. I said, I'm gonna look at these things until I go snowblind if I have to. But I mean, we look at our sales reports, we look at our profit and loss, we measure, and of course now we've been doing that many years. But when you came in, you created it into a system and got us really serious. And at that time, you know, we had some challenges with personnel and those kinds of things. And so one of the things I want to say about what you have on the screen right here is every step of the way, I'm always going to tie it right back to this. Why do you want to know what your numbers are? Why do you want to know what your profit is? And I'm telling you, I can tell you from my experience, I'm sure yours has been the same, that most of the people probably on this call don't know what their numbers are. They probably don't have a budget for 2012. And the reason is because your life goal, your life vision isn't compelling enough, inspiring enough, it doesn't hurt enough yet to cause you to dig into it. But that bottom line right there, that profit right there, that's what funds your life goals. That's what's going to help you get,
you manufacture money out of nothing.
You really, really do it. And now that sounds simple, but the fact is that you can do this on a cocktail napkin. You say, okay, I want, you know, $250,000 on the bottom line. Here's what it's going to cost me to do that. Here's what my sales have to be. And I look at that sales goal. I break it down by the month, by the week, by the day, and that's all I do is focus on that sales goal every single day. And then what happens is I ask myself the question, how, and that's the third question. See, that's usually people ask that question first. That's the third question, not the first question. We always ask, well, how can I do this? How can I do that? It's the third question. The first question is, where are you going? The second question
I think that's so powerful.
The second question is, why are you going there? I'm writing a new book called GPS for Goals. GPS, you're going somewhere, and GPS helps you get there. It shows you the map, right? It shows you I got GPS on my iPhone right here. Goals is where you're going. Purpose, why you're going there. Strategy, how you're going to get there. And there's a million ways to get there. And business owners, we just get so wrapped up in the latest strategy, we don't even know where we're going yet and why we're going there.
But, you know, the making money section is how you measure your results. You know, once we've decided where we're going and why, then the financials are like, well, how close are we? Do we have the wherewithal we need to continue on this path and on this journey? And notice the structure of this financial report. When you charge more than it costs for stuff, you create money from nothing. And if you take that cash now, I promise you, you will solve all problems. One of my clients, in a year's time, I just had him send me over his balance sheet from 12/31 this last year and the year before. He turned his net equity around. He had on his balance sheet, as a result of profitability, an excess of $750,000 in net equity that he didn't have the year before from profit.
Wow.
He increased profitability. He had a $750,000 profit in addition what he paid to himself and his family this year. And that was from losing money year after year after year before then. You can always turn the situation around if you're willing to make some decisions and take some new action. If you want to be
hey,
a millionaire.
Ellen, what kind of gross sales did that company have, just out of curiosity?
He has a $6 million company. How about that? So solid double-digit net profit. You know, I mean, he's planning even bigger for next year.
Now listen, I can overhear people saying right now, well, life is not all about money. Can I just make a statement about that right now?
Yes, I think that's appropriate.
Okay. Let me quote my good friend Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar says that money is not the most important thing in life, but it is reasonably close to oxygen. Okay? However, money will buy you a house, but it won't buy you a home. It'll buy you a bed, but it won't buy you a good night's sleep. So here's the thing. How much money do you need to accomplish the vision that you have for your life? And the fact is that so many business owners are in debt. I did that, been there, done that, ain't doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
And your family suffers, your future suffers, you're working yourself to death. It's about making a profit. You can do whatever you want to do with your money, but the thing is that we got to get over our hang-ups about money, because the fact is, if you make money and you do have a good heart, you can bless a lot of people.
As you're talking, I just noticed on our questions that Randy put a really neat little way that he reminds himself of his sales goals. And Randy, at the bottom of the hour, I'm gonna come to you and ask you to share that live on the call. I think that's so cool. So what I'd like to do, though, in the meantime, isn't that cool? Do you love that?
Yes.
Okay. In the meantime, let me just continue on with this overview. On the Making Money section, we asked you to put together a budget. Working in a team environment with budgeting is a good idea. With another person, it makes you do it, for one. And if you can create a budget where your expenses are greater than your expenses are less than your sales, you're going to create a profit. And we're going to use that budget to match where we are to where we want to go, so we can make decisions based on the data. You know, we have so much emotional stuff attached to this money issue. If you would relax a little bit and make a game of it, you could have a lot of fun. Now, you know what? I'm gonna buzz by that selling price formula. I've gone through it in another seminar on how much should I charge. We just did it recently. But basically, if you want to make more money, your customer is going to have to pay. Crunch the numbers. And here, I'll just go back to this slide. Crunch the numbers, figure out how many hours you have available to work every year, how much money you want to make, do the math, and come up with a selling price strategy that's going to float the boat. You know, the number one reason I started making money and got out of debt, Howard, is I was willing to quintuple my selling prices. That's times 5. All right? And did I lose all my customers? Nope. Did very many notice? Not really. Did they want to have somebody show up clean, sober, on time, dressed right, who knew what they were doing? Yeah, they did. Would they complain now and then and still write the check? Uh-huh. Right? So that's what leads us to getting it sold. If you have done the exercises to flesh out the Making Money section of your business plan, here's what I know. You're going to have to charge more, and you're going to have to figure out how to communicate why you're more expensive than the other guys in your market area who have not crunched the numbers. And you know, the reality is sometimes there are good competitors doing a great job selling wonderful goods and services who are still priced too low. The poor will be with us always. There is nothing you can do about that. So if you're thinking, man, if only they would charge the right price, you cannot control that. But what you can do is get clear on what you need to charge and then use the help that's out there to help you become a better sales trainer, a better communicator. And Howard, this is what you do so well. Getting it sold encompasses marketing, which is getting folks to pay attention to you, to make a reach in your direction. And then sales are, once you've established that relationship, will they say yes to what you're offering? And in the Getting It Sold section, I suggest you create a sales-focused culture, start keeping score, and adopt a sales trainer like Howard. Someone who knows a lot about marketing, like Howard, who doesn't insult your soul. There are other choices out there. I like working with you, Howard, and you're on the call today, but you know that the reason why you have to be good at sales and marketing is to make a living, to make money, you're going to be more expensive. Am I right?
You better believe it.
You better believe it. So a list of projects that are going to lead me in the direction of where I want to go. And I pull those projects from a master to-do list where everything I can think of that needs to be done at some point, big, little, or in between, goes on a written notebook that I keep with me at all times. Could you use your iPad? Yes. Could you use a computer? Sure. Should you use Post-its? No, because Post-its go all over and they're crazy making. Keep it contained and refined. And from that list of everything that needs to be done, pick a few things that are aligned with the rest of the business plan that are going to help you capture an opportunity or solve a problem. And my top projects list is never at one point any bigger than 10 items. My my business guru and marketing buddy, Al Levy, suggests that you don't have more than 5. That 5 is plenty to focus on at one time. But to get in the habit of getting things done through procedures, through systems, through a regular meeting with yourself, as well as focused, communicative meetings with team members, we've got to make good on our promises to ourselves, to each other, and to our customers. When we make a sale, we make a promise there. And the getting it done section of your business plan is where you will assemble the top projects and the procedures required to help you get things done. The way I write a business plan, Howard, it actually morphs into an operations manual. You're going to be dovetailing the work you do from your business plan into an operations manual, sections perhaps for every area of your business, and multiplied out among the people who work there to create separate subsets of your business plan, operations manual for the CSR, the dispatcher, the truck driver, etc. Okay, now we're getting close to the bottom of the hour, and I just want to share a couple other details. And then, Howard, I want to turn the call over to you to share some thoughts, and then also let folks know about the event we've got coming up at the end of January, okay?
Fantastic.
Once a week, I meet with me, and I go through my business plan. And I flip through every page. I read through it, I get inspired, I get juiced up, and then I take the top project list, the master to-do list, and I whip out the calendar. And I make sure that I am committing time to do those things I've promised to do. I suggest you meet with yourself once a week and, on occasion, maybe once a quarter, work on your business plan, updating each area. And Howard, that's really what we have planned for our event in January. So why don't I let you be the presenter here, and I'm going to turn the view over to you. I'm going to make you the presenter, okay?
Sounds good.
And I'm really excited to go to Nashville, and why don't you just let folks know what we're up to?
You bet. You bet. What we're up to is, first of all, just a little bit of background. Can you see my screen okay?
I can.
Okay. The thing is because business planning is kind of hard for most of us small business owners to take the time to do. We really don't know how to do it. One of the things that we do is every year we have a business planning conference, and Ellen will be joining us this year, which is going to be awesome. And I've been doing conferences for, I don't know, I guess about 13 years now, and this particular one is really awesome because we're going to have Mr. Tom Ziglar, who is the proud son of Zig Ziglar. You'll be among the very first to see the presentation that he'll be doing that really actually comes out of the Zig's latest book called Born to Win. In fact, this is most likely going to be Zig's last book, and I had the great pleasure of writing the last chapter of this book with Tom, and the quote that Ellen started out with tonight, and we both learned it from Michael Gerber. Michael Gerber calls it your primary aim in the E-Myth book, and way back in 1997, I learned two big secrets that changed my life forever. At that time, my business was doing about $300,000 a year. I was a slave to the business. And I learned about Michael Gerber's E-Myth, and I learned that, one, your business exists only to achieve your life goals, and he calls it your primary aim. And the second is you've got to have systems in your business. You got to work on the business instead of in the business so that you can have the time that you need to have. And I got the opportunity to meet Michael. We became friends. He's been on my stage. In fact, he came and spoke at one of the little workshops that you and I were doing with one of my groups a few years ago. But as I was working with Tom, and he got a hold of this idea that the only reason your business exists is to be a vehicle to help you achieve your life goals. And you want to look at your business that way. It's a vehicle to take you on this journey, this life journey, to achieve your life goals. And so you got to build it well, because how many of you know that your business has a dramatic impact on your personal life? And here's the great news. The great news is that it can be a positive impact. It can help you go those places that you want to go. So, so the whole last chapter of this book, I helped Tom write the last chapter. It's called Born to Win for Business Leaders, and this book will be released about 3 days before the event. And by the way, the event is January 27th through 28th. We only have 23 seats left. It sold out once already. We had 100 seats, and it sold out really quick, and we added another 100 seats, but we can't add any more. And as of today, we've got 177 people signed up, so we only have 23 seats. I'm going to do some John Maxwell training. I'm a certified coach with John Maxwell. I
like that picture.
And which one? This one or this one?
The video picture with the two of you. That's cute.
Yeah, isn't that cute? Yeah, we did a great little video together. And so here, I want to go through the agenda, because I think one of the reasons this is sold out once and will sell out twice is because of what we're really doing here. Most small business owners, you know, you feel unorganized, you're not focused, you don't have that plan written, and the fact is that you're going to leave this event with a simple, easy to use, written business plan that will guide you throughout 2012 and beyond. So here's what's going to happen on day one. We're really going to work on your personal vision and mission, and I'm going to spend a half a day sharing with you exactly how I plan, how you craft a vision for your life, how you think intentionally, how you get through a lot of the procrastination and the limiting beliefs and develop new habits. I'm going to share out of my book that's coming out in April. Tom Ziglar is going to share the Born to Win for Business Leaders. We'll have Michelle Prince, who is a featured Zig Ziglar speaker, and she's going to speak on the power of belief. And I'm telling you, you know, 5 years ago, I've always been focused on my life goals and what I want and all that. But 5 years ago, I wouldn't have put as much stock in this idea that getting this vision alive in you is so key, and the limiting beliefs. You know, I've just always been, you know, focused, and so. But I know that a lot of people aren't. I'm going to do a John Maxwell teaching called Leadership Gold. And then we're going to have a bonus session with two phenomenal guys speaking of marketing. One of the things that we do really well is what we call referral marketing. Rather than spend a lot of money on advertising, chasing individual clients, we teach you how to develop referral sources that will refer your perfect client to you. And we're going to spend some time the first evening sharing some advanced referral marketing strategies with you, the same strategies that I used in just one of my businesses to generate an average of $64,000 a month in new automatic referrals. This guy here, Jim Bardwell, that I'm standing with, was my special referral marketing agent for about 8 years. John Browning is one of my members who started with me. He was doing $10,000 a month. He won't let me tell you how much he's doing now, but they had a record year and 3 record months in a row, and it's just been incredible. They've grown 23% just this past year, just with specific referral marketing strategies, which we're going to share with you. And by the way, I work with every type of business that there is. We've got, you know, thanks to Ellen, we've got plumbers, we've got pest control people, we've got carpet cleaners, we've got construction people, coaches, authors, speakers, and there'll be a variety of different types of business owners there. So that's day 1, and then day 2 is a complete full day of business planning with myself and the amazing Ellen Rohr and one of my other. I love that
jacket. I don't know what happened to that jacket.
I know.
I like that.
I do too. Do you still have it?
I don't know. I haven't worn it in a while. It's cute.
All right, go scan your closet with your.
There.
Yeah, that's a great jacket. Love it.
Well,
that was one of the first events you did for me.
It is, and what I'm really excited about is that this is not an all-chat day. We're going to be working in real time. And Howard said you're going to leave with a business plan. By the way, if you've got a business plan, if you went through the challenge, if you've assembled the business plan through the Bare Bones Biz Plan or any system, bring it. Because, as you know, a business plan is never done, and this is going to give you an opportunity to work in a workshop setting to really ramp up your business plan for 2012.
Exactly. So we're going to spend.
Yeah, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no. We're going to spend an entire day. Ellen Rohr, myself, and one of my other top consultants who worked with Michael Gerber since 1977. This guy, Mark Ehrlich, right here, helped me improve my profits in one of my companies by over $100,000 this past year.
Wow.
This guy's amazing. So we're going to spend a full day. We're going to go through, help you craft a mission for your company, a mission statement, vision, and business goals. Think about your values and who you are as a company. We're going to do a marketing plan. I'm going to lead that part. You're going to lead with an organizational chart, what you want your business to look like. And Ellen's going to spend an entire half a day walking you through a 12-month budget. Fill in the blanks budget and go through pricing with you. And before we leave, you're going to have your top 5 projects, and you're going to have that written business plan in your hand when you walk out the door. Okay? So here's the deal. This event is $595 a person. However, right now, our rate is $397. However, Ellen told me when we scheduled this a while back that, Howard, I want them to get your first original early bird special, which is $197, and you can bring your spouse at no additional charge. But if we're going to give you the 100,
that is so nice. That is so nice of you to do that.
To do what? Which one? The 197 or the spouse? Which one?
Both. Both. You know, it's super nice to be able to bring because it's so hard to go home and say, you know, this is what I learned. It's best if you can work together, if you are in the business together. And thanks for giving us the early bird price, because I didn't get this webinar in before the deadline earlier. So thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome, and it's true. It's impossible to tell people what you experienced at an event. So what I'm going to do is Ellen starts taking questions and stuff. While you're doing that, Ellen, I'm going to go over and grab the link that they need and change the price. And I just realized that our shopping cart still says $397, And the other part of it is if anybody else happens to sign up online, they're going to be like, what's happening here? It's only $197. But what we'd like for you to do is go ahead and make that commitment tonight, even if you're not sure that you can come. And here's the other thing I'm going to do for you. Because if you're going to bring your spouse, we only have 23 seats left, and let's say 10 people sign up tonight, that's 20 people right there. So if you sign up tonight but you're not 100% sure that you can come and you check your airfare and stuff like that, don't worry. We'll give you a 100% refund. If you can't come, we'll just, give that right back to you and open up that space for somebody else because we're going to fill it. But I want you to make that commitment tonight while we have the seats available. I'm not making that up. I don't do that. I'm not like some of these other guys. It's the truth. We got 177 people. We got 23 seats, and that's all I got.
Well, I think that's rockin' awesome. It's going to be in Nashville, 27th, 28th of this month. So I would love to see you there. If you were in the challenge, this would be a great way for you to update and work on the sections of your plan that you didn't tackle, didn't get finished, or just need to be revisited, because that's the way it goes. And this day of focus clarity following the day of all those speakers, Howard, it's going to be so fantastic.
Oh,
I got to get another new jacket. Awesome. I get a new jacket.
Get that red one. That's right.
Woohoo! Okay, so you're going to work on the shopping cart and put the link in the questions.
Yep. What I'm going to do is just here in just a second, you'll see a link that'll be in your question box, and you can just click that link and sign up. And remember that you and your spouse will come for a total of $197, and you just can't get this kind of content anywhere for $197. So it just doesn't happen.
Can I open up a couple of questions? Mike Hemingway has a really good question that I want to address.
You bet.
For those folks who went through the challenge. Hey, Mike, are you there?
I am.
Hey, in fact, I'm going to try and scroll up. I don't know if Howard gave me the command. Howard, if you want to scroll up to the.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
go.
don't give me the presentation. Oh, I want to leave it on your presentation.
Okay.
Can we do that? So keep you as the presenter for a second.
All right. You want the mouse or what? What do you want?
Yes. And then show your screen when you. Oh, you've got the affiliate thing coming. Can I I want to scroll back up because Mike's question was about the exercises. Are they going to be from the bare bones biz plan? And I just want to show you how it's going to dovetail. I talked earlier about Howard's got his words for things, and I've got my words for things. Thanks, Howard. And I think I'm going to lose it again. Okay, he and I are both trying to do the mouse. Let me just say this. When Howard's changed, I'm going to leave it so you can see what he's doing. But when we present the financial information and the organizational chart, those are going to be from tools that I've provided. His vision information is going to dovetail really nicely, and what you want to do is if you've got your business plan there, work on your business plan. And I'll be there. We're going to be helping in real time to work on this. So the exercise is kind of like a Chevy or a Dodge. There's going to be the same elements through the exercises that Howard brings to the party as are in the bare bones biz plan. And if you're having any trouble making the translation, I'm going to be there. I'll help you.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes good sense.
Because ultimately, here's why I wanted to get you on the phone. Ultimately, and this is so important, hear this. It's your plan. It's your plan. I'm going to give you a model and some tools. You're going to go to other seminars. You're going to get some consultants to come help you. You're going to visit with a business buddy who's got a really rocking marketing program that he's using. And you are going to pull this information from now to the end of your business life from all sorts of different sources through your filter and into your plan. And if I can help you really get your arms around that, I think you're really going to rock this business plan and your business to a next quantum level. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Woohoo! So I'm really excited about. I just like working with Howard. We have a lot of things that make us different, and so the difference is kind of juicy, and the diversity is a lot of fun. And then we are absolutely aligned on our core values, which is to be of service, helping you create a vehicle that's going to drive you in the direction of your life dreams. Fix the business you've got. Supercharge the business that you have. Dump the business that you've got if you don't want to. You'll get nothing but love and support if that's your conclusion. But we're going to help you ask and answer the big questions in real time for one day. And what I don't provide, Mike, that Howard does provide, is this sense of community. I don't do events. So the fact that Howard is doing this and allowing me to like parlay on it, I could not be happier, because then I don't have to do an event of my own. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, and you know, I've read a lot, and you know, there's so much information in my head, and now having your business plan, I kind of know where to stick it. You know,
yeah.
Under what tab. So I know what you're saying. I follow you.
I think that could be a good mantra. I know where to stick it now.
Take this job and shove it.
I couldn't help myself. But that was like when I went to other training programs. I remember being in the audience and thinking, yeah, but what do I do with that? And you're going to still experience that sense of overwhelm and conflicting ideas, and you know, there's going to be a lot of opinions out there. Your job as the owner is to pull through your filters, those things that are going to help you achieve your life goals, help you support the business as you decide. A leader always decides, and that's your job. So I'm good, and I'll be there to work with you directly too, which is just sweet. Because most of the time, as you know, I work with folks over the phone or just on one-on-one consults. This is a really unusual opportunity to play with me live in an event like this. I think this is going to be absolutely rockin' awesome.
Can you guys let me know that you got the link in the question bar?
I don't see the link in the question bar.
It's there, but I can't copy. It's there, but you can't copy and paste it.
Can't copy and paste it?
Oh, you know where it is? It's in the chat. It's in the chat.
Hold on.
And then also put it in the question. Oh, and then Toby said it works. Woohoo! Okay, good deal.
Good.
Okay, but I would, if you don't mind, copy and paste it into the questions as well as the chat, where you put it with the chat. Do you see what I'm talking about, Howard?
Yeah, I just
you got it.
That.
Okay, so
what I want you guys to do is copy and paste it into your internet browser rather than trying to click it right in the question bar.
I got it.
Yeah, I think that's, if it's a hot link, it shows up as a hot link in my chat, and it shows up as just the regular text in the questions. But Randy got through too, so that's cool. Hey, Randy, I want to brag on Randy a second, because Randy put a really fun response in here as we were chatting it up. So, Mike, do you have another question before I turn you back into a mute?
Mute me.
Mute you. Love to you and Miss Maureen. And Maureen could go free, which is, or you know, 2 for the price of 1, which is pretty cool.
Right.
All right, now I'm going to find Randy. Okay, I've got you right here. And Randy, I don't know if you can be heard. Oh, I think we did get this working earlier. So there you are.
It works. Yes. Hello.
Okay. So do you have a formal budget as well as the reminder tip that you put in this in the question section of the GoToMeeting bar? Tell us about that. What you do.
I do, but I don't. It's not current for this month.
Okay.
I've been quoting a ton of work, and I suspect there's a log jam just upstream, and I think everybody's about ready to say, yeah, we all want it done this week. So,
woo-hoo!
Yeah, I'm getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and after I get done with this, I got to go be somewhere at 6 o'clock. So, right now I'm in the working yourself to death portion of the program, but well, it's necessary right now. I need some capital. So, you know, it's just a question of what you really want, and the hardest part for me is I can write a number on the inside of the windshield, and I've watched it, and one way or another, it may come through my business, may come through whatever, that money will show up in that month.
Yeah.
It's
Isn't that amazing?
Now, the hardest part.
Okay, so you put it on your chart. You put the number in it with the chart.
I take a dry erase marker and right above the horizon, so that you're looking through it. Pick one that you can see and write down what you want to net this month. If it's $5,000, if it's $25,000, whatever. And the first thing you're going to do when you do this, it's up there for God and everyone to see, and people are going to ask you about it. And then you're going to find out if you're a coward or not. Okay? It's like you're going to find out how screwed up you are up with money. And I'm really screwed up with money because I can pretty much demonstrate anything I want. I've been doing it for 25 years. It works, and I won't do it. That's the insanity for me, is I have a solution, but you know,
let me ask this
the
now.
fear is overwhelming.
What are you committed to?
I'm committed to at this point in my life to maintaining my life, paying for my house, and putting money away for a retirement. I'm 56.
And might I suggest, and this is such a big part of the business planning process, might I suggest you stop defining yourself as someone who's really screwed up about money? We didn't know that till you just said it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna erase these now. I just took some like spray cleaner to the inside of my head and I washed that out.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
And so the way you talk about yourself, what you could replace those thoughts with, and this is what business planning is all about, what you could replace that thought with is a perhaps uncomfortable at first thought. But I am figuring money out. I am embracing the fact that I can create money out of nothing. I demonstrate it all the time by putting the goal on my windshield and making that happen. I create more money than I create sales in excess of what my expenses are to the tune of the desired amount of profit that I create, and I take the money in cash because my customers love what I do, and they'll make more money. So as you start to choose new thoughts, a belief is a thought you keep thinking, and you're already well on the path. What you just shared about writing that goal on the windshield and believing and manifesting that money, that is so incredibly powerful. So I am going to applaud you for that and ignore you for anything else. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Well,
and that's what your mastermind can do for you. Does that help you, Randy?
Absolutely. The truth is that if anyone said to me about me what I say to me about me, I would have no choice but to take their life.
Yeah, punch in the nose at the least. I so relate to that. I so relate to that. Hey, Randy, you are a peach, and thanks for being so candid and communicative. Hey, I do notice that Toby wrote that the price was still $397. Did you get a chance to update that, Howard? He had just clicked through a paragraph.
I did. Yeah,
oh, it's all okay. Try again. Okay, I see that.
Yeah,
all right, and Howard, by the way, that's Howard talking as Michelle Teeter, but he signed in with her login. So that's, if you're confused as to why Michelle's been so chatty on our call. It's really
right. I own the go-to-webinar.
Oh, I lost you for a second.
Oh, yeah, what happened?
I don't know. The call quality is really bad. Oh, well, maybe that's a chance to say goodbye.
Okay.
All right. You know what? I might try calling. I might try my.
How about that? Does that work better?
Welcome to GoToWebinar, web events made easy.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's worse. Let me try something.
Muted.
It's not you, Ellen. I just muted you.
Muted.
Now?
Unmuted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but you're like really bugging. Really bugging.
Hello?
Really bugging.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Muted. Unmuted. Welcome to GoToWebinar, Web Events Made Easy.
Hey, I'm back.
Okay.
Oh, it still, yeah, it still sounds weird. Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. Love, love, love. I'm going to take off.
All right. Thanks, Ellen.
Okay. Howard, I'll call you back on your phone.
Okay.